What does being strong mean to you right now?
Being vulnerable.
Yeah.
It used to be stoic, but now it's being I can't even say it. I'm still learning it.
You're scared of it. There are certain people in your life who feel like calm in human form. They're steady, they're thoughtful, and they are deeply intentional about how they move through the world. Today's conversation is about that kind of discovery, not just what we create, but who we want to become in the process. We're talking about design, discipline, self-trust, and what it really means to build something that reflects you who you are from the inside and out. Hi, and welcome back to the Mind Body Method podcast, and I am your host, Josh Grimm. Today's guest is my friend Mark, someone that embodies calm strength and thoughtful creation. He is a trainer, a coach, and the founder of Cartography, a jewelry line that is rooted in intention, craftsmanship, and meaning. The conversation today is going to be about creativity and deliberately finding that place where you find something that you love, that you're aligned with, and carry that with you. So please welcome my good friend, Mark Peddigrew. Hi.
Hey, Josh.
How's it going?
It's good. You're busting my podcast cherry.
Oh,
so thank you.
It's your first one?
It's my first, but I have two more lined up.
Oh,
actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, jealous. Well, number one is the
You're
best.
number one. You're the best. Yeah.
So for people that don't know who you are, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about, where you came from, what you do for work, and just about Mark.
All right. My name is Mark Armstrong Peddigrew, and I was born in Newfoundland, Canada. And I arrived in New York like 21 years ago, after a 3-year jaunt in London. And in terms of what I do, I think, taking in both things that occupy most of my life, I like to say that I make people feel good.
Right.
Whether that be through their body or what they're wearing. I think empowerment is something that is a through line with my work.
So, obviously, like I said, you are the founder of Cartography, which is a fantastic jewelry line.
Thank you.
I have a piece here, a piece here. There's some pieces in my room. I'm sure you're wearing all of your same.
Everything. Yeah.
So when did you start Cartography?
It was a kind of a hobby for a long time that I started in the back of a tour bus. As you know, I'm friends with some musicians, and they're kind enough to take me on the road. And that's how Cartography started, was in through basically traveling the world with Rufus Wainwright. And one of our favorite things to do on a day off is antiquing. And so, especially in Europe, a lot of things that he would buy required some country certifications to leave the said country. And then I didn't quite have the same purchasing power that he did, but what I would do, I would buy these little charms. And I would be away, for a lot of friends' special events, birthdays and whatnot. And I would just put these charms on a chain and give them to my friends. And that's actually how Cartography started, pretty organically.
And this is when you were living in London?
No. This is New York. Yep. This was New York. In London, I was just a party boy. And that's why I had to leave. So yeah. And there's a nice organic evolution story to that. But Cartography, as you know, is the study and creation of maps. My initial spell map, Mark Armstrong Peddigrew, and my first creations were literally from collecting all of these talismans and mementos from around the world. So that's kind of how Cartography came to be. But yeah, it was a hobby for a long time. And then I was on a tour, and I was at the gym in Dallas, and I was wearing one of my creations, and a buyer for Neiman Marcus noticed it and came up, and we started chatting, and he was like, do you think I could have 40, in a couple of months? I was like, I have no idea.
Because these are pieces that you kind of created through your travels.
The initial cartography creations, like I didn't even have a name by this point. I had no packaging, no marketing, no website. I literally just was wearing something around my neck. And at the time, Neiman Marcus was looking for this like edgy young designer content to fill in their flagship stores. And a few months later, I flew down to Dallas and did a presentation. It was literally, I'm not kidding, I took out a Nike shoebox in the office of Neiman Marcus and put them on the table. And I had at the time, each piece had a miniature pocket knife, a stone, a religious medallion, an animal, and some trinket related to travel. The really special pieces were like these miniature compasses. And there are also these visual optic things like little telescopes that if you held up to the light, there'd be like a miniature picture. And they were like from the 1800s.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, I went into Neiman Marcus with a Nike shoebox for a presentation.
I'm not surprised.
And it's kind of wild to think like that because they were so expensive, like one of those mini compasses could cost $200. And so they were retailing for upwards of like $3,000 once you combine the pocket knife and the chain and the animal and the stone and yada, yada, yada. And I didn't even have a company name. And yeah, that's step one of the origin story of cartography.
Did you have like, whenever Neiman Marcus, the buyer, came to you, and at this time it's kind of just a hobby that you're creating these pieces. Was that whenever you had a light bulb moment that this could be a business? Did it get you excited?
It got me excited, and I made lots of mistakes with that first big check I got. I was like, I'm going to make T-shirts, and and I thought it'd be really cool to pick up all these vintage girly photos from the 30s and 40s and print them onto T-shirts. And one of the things I've learned in design is that you feed yourself, but you also have to feed the masses, and quite often feeding yourself is not going to be the sellers. My best sellers are always the pieces that come quickly, most easily. And so I've always I've come to learn if I want my artistic expression, I also need to balance it up with something that's palatable for the masses. And that took me a long time to learn. So with I think I got like $40,000 from Neiman Marcus, which
That's
is
great. That's great for a first
my very first
run.
purchase. But the T-shirts cost me because you need to buy bulk in order to get these price cuts. I basically, spent the entire thing.
And how did the T-shirts go?
Fine. GQ got behind them a few times, and Ryan Reynolds liked them, so he posted a bunch, and then stuff like that. But it was a long time selling them.
So when did you transition to going more headfirst into the design as we know it today, as I know it today?
It was definitely more of an evolution because being self-funded, and it was, I'm not trained as a jewelry designer. It was a lot of self-learning. And so my first collection was called Travelogue because it was all these pieces that I found from around the world. And then I met a boy, and I thought, oh, I'm going to make him something special. And that was my first foray into my very first design, and it was an anatomical heart. And within the heart, you opened it up, and there was another heart. And it was based on the E. Cummings poem, I carry you in my heart, wherever you go, blah, 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 blah. And the boy did not last, obviously, but every time I get an order for it, and this coming up upon Valentine's Day, I get many orders for that. I'm just reminded of him, and I kind of thank him for, that $350. And,
Right.
And if it wasn't for him, I'm sure it would have happened eventually, but that was the initial kind of, okay, let's try to create something by myself and of myself. And then that began my very first other, I guess, self-made collection called In All the Wrong Places. And it's just a series of anatomical hearts inspired by guys I've loved, whether it be relationships, one-night stands, best friends. And yeah, it's a collection that I still am very, very proud of.
Well, like I said in the beginning when I introduced you, is that, you do have thoughtful creation. And because I know you so well, when I look at your website and I see your pieces, I look at them and I know a lot of the stories behind them, and I can see you in all of your pieces, which I think is really, really special in a designer, because you're not just performing for the masses. You're not just designing for the masses. You're not a sellout. You are doing these things with intention, which is beautiful. And the way that I've gotten a lot of pieces from you over the years, the way that you package them and the way that they are presented, the Polaroids that are on my wall right there that come with from whenever you are packaging them, the scent of the cologne. I mean, everything is just so thoughtful and so beautiful.
Well, most of my business is online, and I try to humanize it.
Yeah.
Because we're in such a digital world, and I want the experience that somebody, when they get the package, it starts from literally the moment they hold it, the scent comes from it, and then they open the package, and my ethos, my motto, my whatever, my mandate, I
like all these words.
I
don't know the rest, what's coming afterwards, but they all sound good.
Well, just basically it says, thank you for, it's a read, but it's basically thank you for finding us. We're a small company, locally made.
Ethos is a good word.
Ethos, by supporting Cartography or supporting other mom and pop shops, because my manufacturers are on 45th Street here in New York, and then Rhode Island. My assembly people are in Ohio and New York. And so everything is ethically made, ethically sourced, and a portion of proceeds always go to Brandy Carlisle's Looking Out Foundation. And the Looking Out Foundation is exactly that. Brandy's always looking out for people. And so she's looking for these small grassroots organizations that she can donate to. So instead of finding these organizations that I know would be near and dear to me because she really focuses on the marginalized, I donate money to that and then her organization.
Your passion for music and singer-songwriters, and I know that is probably the biggest part of your heart. You live and breathe it. You're a self-proclaimed lesbian.
That's right. My necklace says Dyke.
When did that passion for music come about? Have you always had that since you were a little boy?
Yeah.
Same genre? Because you have a specific genre, and I love your genre very much. Yep. When I need something to listen to for certain situations, I know who to ask, who to text.
Yeah. No, when I was a little boy, I was a devotee of the Church of Madonna, for sure. Like every little gay boy in the 80s. There's nothing else I really listened to. And then I moved to London, and when I was 21, and I had flirted a little bit with singer-songwriter stuff through college, but it was kind of living in London and navigating a new city and being alone and just having a lot of time on the bus or the subway with my yellow Sony Discman, because this was
mine
even
was yellow too.
Yeah, in the days before iPods, and that's when I really learned to pay more attention to lyrics and like Joni Mitchell and Leonard Cohen were always on my radar because of being Canadian, but I really dug into them when I lived in London.
And so when did your current other kind of path right now with training and coaching, when did that begin?
That that began, this is a really cute story. So I was working out at David Barton, and Rufus came into the gym, and he went to the front desk girl, and he wasn't a member. He, back in the day, David Barton was kind of that like famous haunt where, people just ended up, and he asked the front desk girl, Sharon Weinberg, who the cutest boy at the gym was. And she called me over, and he said, I'm going to Europe this summer. Do you want to come and train me on the road?
It's a great story.
Yeah, and that was 2008. And this is 2026. And as you know, I just got back from Holland with Rufus, and I'm going to France with him in April. And so it's one of my favorite, most formative, most important, impactful relationships.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you see the connection between the two things that you do when it comes to, coaching and training and designing?
Yeah, I actually think of...
Is there a through line, I guess?
Yeah, I think training is actually also designing.
Yeah.
Most people will eventually hit the gym for aesthetic reasons, and that in its own way is designing. And then, you're developing programs for people, telling them what to do, how to do it, truly designing them. And then, of course, the design aspect of cartography is a little bit more obvious.
Do you have a passion more towards one than another? Or do you feel that it's nice to be able to vibrate back and forth? Because I guess in one aspect, if you get a little bit bored / annoyed / over
burnt
it.
out.
I mean, we both burnt out. We all have those days. I mean, you can automatically turn to something else. I mean, let's face it. That's kind of why I'm creating this new division.
We always need...
you need something else because otherwise we're going to bury ourselves in the ground by doing what we do 24/7.
Well, I'm pretty regimented with, as you know, I train a few people in the morning, and then I work out myself, and then I'm gone by like noon.
Right.
And then I focus on cartography. And, eventually, just in terms of, I think of cartography more as like my retirement plan a little bit. And it's nice to have that passive income, and I work with a great group of people, and the actual creation process for me is very quick, very simple, very easy. Like I think of ideas and execute them pretty quickly. And I think a very good thing about me is I surround myself with even better people. And so while I'm a good jeweler now, the people I work with are better. And so I create, the sample, the prototype, whatever. And then I have a wonderful team of people that make it even better. And yeah, and then I'm just maybe the silly one or the stupid one or the brave one that is actually willing to, invest in my own company and, take the risk of putting it out there and, putting all of the capital into the designs and, just the general running of a business.
You do it all with such calm energy, as I said before. I mean, there is not a single soul that knows you that I speak with that doesn't say that from the get. People always say, "Oh," they always speak about your energy, and I often get compared to you, which is like the biggest
twins.
compliment, the biggest compliment ever.
Yeah.
We often wear the same clothes, and we have a lot of the same energy in the gym.
Yeah. Somebody actually, one of my clients started going towards you the other day thinking it was me.
Yeah.
And then she saw me and she was like, "Oh, wait." Oh.
Right. Yeah.
I
mean, there are, I think it's important to always have someone that you look up to. And I know I've told you before, I think I look up to you tremendously, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah. Ditto.
Whenever you first started Cartography, back in 2000 and what?
I mean, the first hobbies of it were 2010, just rinky-dink gatherings. And my first, I think I had my website and all that stuff in 2015 I incorporated.
Have you been self-taught along the way as far as like the business aspect?
Yes.
Yeah. You're figuring it out as we go, right?
I wouldn't go that far. Figuring out-ish. Yeah, I wish I had a business mentor or somebody that was a bit more guiding, but I didn't.
Do you have anybody ever reaching out to you for mentorship that are also creating their own jewelry line? Do people ask you for advice?
Not just jewelry, but in general entrepreneurial things. Yeah.
It's a nice feeling, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is, and I think I've earned some wisdom over the years that I can definitely impart.
What do you see Cartography doing next? Is there some plan that you're keeping a secret from others? Do you have a vision in the next 5 to 10 years with it? I mean, or do you just are you going with how your emotions?
It's been a really bizarre time in jewelry because of the cost of metals, which in the last few years have really skyrocketed. And, with the geopolitical climate, gold just keeps going up and up and up. It's when I first started using gold in 2015, it was, I want to say $1,400 an ounce. Now it's $5,300 an ounce.
That's big.
And in the evolution of electronic vehicles and solar panels and AI data centers and the cost of gold, silver, which is the most conductive metal and is used in all of those industries, has more than quadrupled in the last year. And so Cartography is about to have an interesting year, I think, where I kind of have to assess how to navigate this new terrain and pricing. And, if something was $95 on my website, now it's $145.
Right.
And that is a big jump because
it's a new customer, new
it's
advertising,
a new customer,
new marketing.
Yep, exactly. So that is literally exactly what I'm focusing on now and trying to figure that out with some marketing people. And part of that is really going to have to push the fact that it is, made in New York. It's not China. It's silver. It's not stainless steel. It's adult hands, not kitty hands, making it, just really having to rely on the story of cartography, small business, ethically manufactured, ethical sourcing, and because one thing that I want is for everybody to be able to wear cartography. And and maybe that's not going to be possible because, you know, when people go shopping and they find me on Instagram, you know, they're like, well, I can buy something similar on Amazon for $20. And I'm like, then buy something on Amazon for $20. You know, I would love to be able to do that, but that's just not, it's literally not possible.
Because of your ethos and because of your ethics and things like that, and where you want your vision to portray.
Yeah. And I get, you know, contacted by manufacturers in China several times a month, you know, just those random emails that come in. And, you know, the price points look very, very attractive, but just morally, I just wouldn't be able to. So please buy me.
So, you know, you and I are both entrepreneurs, and there are days where, well, I don't know. I would say that there used to be days where I personally would question, you know, taking this path of working for myself full time. I've worked for myself full time for over 12 years, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yep.
How about you?
I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
No.
I think at our old age, I don't think that we have another option.
Well, I think an entrepreneur is kind of it's who you are.
It is.
You know, and it would be fighting a very basic component of your structure, your DNA.
Do you think that I know, again, for me, I think that with a lot of things that are happening in our world, a lot of changes, political climates, you know, it kind of makes me a little bit more grounded, protective of my own sanity and my own strength and my inner peace. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I still have to perform and I still have to run my work and my livelihood.
Yep.
So a lot of the outside noise I can't allow it to affect me more than a very small amount of time.
Yeah.
Do you relate?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's a noisy world right now. It's pretty mad. I mean, I'm really sad.
Of course.
Like, I mean, I run Melancholy anyway. I'm just lucky that I think I'm really funny. And so I have, if it wasn't for my ability to seek humor and to see humor and, you know, if it wasn't for that ability, I would be in big trouble.
Right. I mean,
emotionally.
that was my next question to ask you. How do you protect or keep your calm? But I guess that's keeping that humor and seeking it. And
I mean, I have several things. I had more. As you know, Donut, my dog, he was such a grounding force for me. Before him, I was definitely a New Yorker. I was out all the time, you know, dinner out every night, blah, 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 blah. And having something to take care of other than myself really grounded me.
right.
And kept me home and made me just want to be home a lot. And I love my home. It's so cozy. And he's not there anymore, but I love being home.
Same.
And that grounds me. Just playing music grounds me. I'm very fortunate to have really great supportive friends and family that ground me. And yeah, for as exciting as life can be with, you know, being an entrepreneur and all the traveling and living in New York, at the end of the day, it's just, you know, being in that quiet place at home.
Do you have any daily rituals? I mean, you know me, you know my rituals. I'm a crazy person. And every time I tell you about them, you have this look on your face, just like how you did now, that you think I'm a nut job.
I mean, the fact that you are able to execute so much so early before getting to the gym.
Yeah. I'm telling you, but I said this to someone else recently, and like, this is only because it works for me now.
Yeah.
It will evolve. It will change. It will probably loosen up a little bit. I can't imagine it being more rigid than it already is. So as I let go of some walls and continue to grow, then I'm sure I'll be able to brick by brick take some of these things down, and maybe even have dinner on a Wednesday night. I don't know. That's crazy.
I think it sounds so like, you know, sometimes when you post it and you have like your eye patches on, and I know you just meditated and you've been on the bike, and when I wake up in the morning, I have all I can do to make my cup of coffee, which is as you know, I'm never without coffee.
Right.
It's my elixir. So
no other rituals?
No, I have a few. Unfortunately, I am addicted to the news, for better or for worse. It's not the first thing I do in the morning. The first thing I do is Wordle, and my dad does Wordle as well. And so what I love about that is I text my dad every day now. So the first thing I do is Wordle, and then a few hours later I get a text from him, and he'll say 3, meaning he got it in 3, which tells me he's done it. And then I send him my screenshot, and then he sends his screenshot.
Who's winning?
We're pretty even, I would say. We're pretty even. And then he tells me about the weather. He slips into dad mode, but it's keeps me, you know, grounded and connected, that daily ritual of Wordle. And then I read the news, and I start my daily spiral into depression.
Come on.
Which I find, you know, hilarious. So it's okay.
There's the plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to Cartography or yourself as a brand, you know, Mark Peddigrew, what do you hope that people take away from a meeting with them, a interaction with you, from, you know, you as a person, your business, training? What do you hope that people walk away from knowing about you?
A lot. I mean, the best compliment somebody can give me is that I'm funny. I think that's such a wonderful gift to make somebody smile, to make somebody laugh. And that's, you know, if, you know, at the gym or out for dinner, and stuff like that. But if you're talking about the cartography work, I like my pieces to be conversation starters. And I like, as you said, there's a lot of intent and meaning behind them. So I like them to tell a story. And, you know, through working with Rufus, through being friends with Brandy and the twins, you know, and all of the people I meet through the singer-songwriter world, it really does reflect back into my work. I wish I were a musician. I think it's, you know, one of the most beautiful things you can do, but I can't tell a story that way. Right. And so somehow I've evolved to telling stories through jewelry, and yeah, whether it's like, you know, the anatomical heart series I did, or I'm a huge fan of Patti Smith, so I devoted an entire collection to her, primarily based off her books, Just Kids and the M Train, and her relationship with Robert Mapplethorpe. I like subversive and juxtapositions, which always show up in my jewelry. You know, juxtapositions and subversiveness show up a lot in my designs, like my Dyke necklace, and I did a faggot one. I have this, it's one of my best sellers. It's a heart, not an anatomical one, but like a traditional jewelry shaped heart, and it says "Be kind" on the front, and then you flip it open and it says "Of a cunt."
Right.
And a lot of the stuff I make, you know, my mom sees a lot of it, and she'll be like, I don't know who's going to buy that. And I'm like, okay, I'm on to something.
Just wait.
And And she's like, well, at least it's not a penis. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. And say with like, with the faggot and be kind of a cunt, the New York Times featured both of them.
Amazing.
So, you know, I like conversation starters. I like something that might rub somebody the wrong way.
Well, you throw them in just enough, right? You sprinkle them in just enough for...
Yeah, and that's the stuff I was talking about earlier. Like, that's the stuff for me. And, you know, they're the conversation starters. And then, I have much safer things.
Right.
That, to me, always seemed like filler. But they're the ones that do well. With the jewelry, I like people to, you know, have that conversation piece, have something that means something to them. You know, for the number of guys that email me if they bought the faggot necklace, you know, they're like, thank you. You know, like this is, you know, I'm so proud to wear this word on my neck.
That's a great thing to read.
Yeah.
In an email.
Yeah. And it was definitely risky. But like I said, the New York Times caught wind of it and they ran like a really lovely article. And, you know, they acknowledged the fact that it's a childhood taunt for a lot of boys and myself included. You know, it's about repossessing something and not taking power away from something, but also being a really proud faggot.
Right.
Like one of the things that, you know, when I first came out and, you know, like you would hear things like, oh, I, you know, didn't know you were gay, or, you know, I'm so surprised. And it's like, I want you to know I'm gay.
Right.
Like, how am I going to get laid? and, you know, if like the reason you come out is not because you're trying to pass as straight, it's because you're proud of who you are. And, you know, wear it like a badge of honor and a badge. Mine says dyke because, as you said, I'm a lesbian and it's how I identify.
Self-proclaimed.
Yep.
I think that your brand is amazing, and I think that you're amazing. And before we finish, we're going to do a little rapid fire here.
Okay.
So, morning training or evening training for yourself?
Late morning.
One word you use to describe your energy right now?
Kind of up, actually.
Oh, this is up. Okay.
Wait, what?
I thought you were going to say melancholy.
Oh, no. This conversation has brought it up.
A lot of joy.
Yeah.
A physical movement you always come back to in the gym?
Squatting.
Piece of jewelry that you never take off. Do you have one of those?
Yeah, I wear my stack.
Silence or music while you're creating?
Music.
Right, of course. What grounds you fastest whenever things kind of fall off? Or maybe when you feel sad or feel down?
I think I still need to find something. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it was definitely donut, but yeah.
City energy or quiet space?
Quiet space, but with the access to the madness.
Something that you're currently unlearning?
Imposter syndrome.
Final one. What does being strong mean to you right now?
Being vulnerable.
Yeah.
It used to be stoic, but now it's being I can't even say it. I'm still learning it.
You're scared of it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're very funny.
Thank you so much.
I love you.
I love you too.
So thank you for listening. You've listened to me, Mark Peddigrew. Mark Pettigrew's jewelry line is called Cartography, and the website is cartography.nyc. And so is his Instagram. His personal Instagram, because he is a cool guy, is the boy that fun forgot.
Sad.
If you want to see that. Wherever you're listening, watching, and viewing this podcast, please like and subscribe. Any questions are at questions@mindbodymethodpodcast.com. And my Instagram is joshgrim_fitnut, FITNUT. See you next Wednesday. Thanks. Thank you for joining me today on Mind Body Method. This podcast is part of Pride House Media, hosted by me, Josh Grimm, produced and edited by Josh Rosenzweig. Original music composed by Nell Balabin. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And while you're there, leave us a rating and review. It really helps others to discover the show. I'd love to stay connected with you, so join the conversation by following me at joshgrim_fitnut on Instagram and by emailing me at questions@mindbodypodcast.com.